Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm sharing my experience of death. Firstly, I'd like to mention, for a little perspective, that since 1999, I've been researching spirituality in whichever direction it led me. This knowledge brought experiences with it, opportunities to put it to the test. Many of these experiences took place in the astral realm, and some will be documented in future videos. So let's begin. As is often the case during sleep, I tune in to deeper levels of consciousness on the astral plane. It's like a knowing or a feeling that differentiates it from the usual dream state. I'm as conscious as if I were awake. Initially, on this particular occasion, I wasn't sure what was going on, but paid very close attention as things were unfolding. I noticed a sense of uneasiness, and it seemed to be slowly approaching. That feeling became more and more uncomfortable the closer it got. A black shadow of darkness was closing in that was thick, dense, and conscious. It drifted up beside me, and the closer it got, the more ominous the feeling of dread. Despite all of this, I just watched intently, subconsciously knowing there was no avoiding this encounter. And then I understood. It was time. For some reason, I was still calm. The atmosphere was becoming claustrophobic. It was closing in, and there was no more air to breathe. Suffocating, I struggled to take 3 more breaths, each one getting shorter and shorter. Realizing that the next would be my last, I suddenly found myself coughing and gasping in air as deep as I could. I was able to breathe again, somewhat desperately, but it soon returned to normal. Needless to say, this jolted me wide awake, and I lay there replaying the scene over and over again for some time. It was interesting to note that there was also a certain level of peace as I was resigned to my fate, and then surprise when I could breathe again. I also felt a deep sense of calm once I'd regained my composure after avoiding suffocation. What a strange turn of events. It wasn't until the following morning that I understood what had happened. Death had passed me by, coming for the animal sleeping in the same bed. It seems I just happened to be on the same wavelength at the time and tuned into its experience on account of its close proximity. Shortly after, I buried my little friend and thanked him for the privilege of the experience. It's something I'll never forget. I saw for myself that death is also a fleeting moment, like we experience in life, just extremely uncomfortable for a minute. I would have died in my sleep if death had taken 1 more breath away. The animal must have died on the previous breath. That was quite a realization at the time, and still makes me wonder to this day. It was such a close call. In my opinion, and based on my research using Dolores Cannon's quantum healing hypnosis technique, it makes sense to me that the soul lives on after death and continues in another form or body on its own spiritual path. For these reasons, I'd already come to the conclusion that death may possibly not be anything to fear, and so it turned out to be. Death is basically a doorway for the soul to leave this physical world. Why I experience this, I suppose I may never know. For now, that's all I have to say about it. But if you're interested in past life regressions, There's a link in the description to several transcripts posted at jandjtierney.com. These were discovered using Dolores' QHHT. Also, Ozark Mountain Publishing has published our book called A Quest of Transcendence. This documents 34 consecutive QHHT sessions of a young woman's life in a parallel dimension, where spirituality is their way of life. Thanks for watching.